I'm Julie, and Hi. So, about 2 years ago, my parents got a divorce, and it came as a shock to my siblings and I because all through our lives, our parents have both been like really devout Catholics, and we were like, what is this? And it was really surprising. And so things seemed to be going okay. We were all still kind of in the shock stage. And then about 2 months after they split, my dad got a girlfriend, and he was hiding from us. And I felt really betrayed by it. And we had not even healed from the divorce, let alone someone trying to step in and take my mom's role right away, which she tried to do. And we're still trying to cope with the fact that life's not normal anymore. So my dad began to drop everything to be with her. And all of a sudden we would go over there on weekends that we had time with him, and he would run off and be with her. And it was really hurtful, and we felt left out and he didn't care. And eventually we started fighting about it because I would speak up and tell him, I don't like this, and this is not all right. And so we started fighting, and I was sick and tired of not being respected and not being treated like his daughter. So eventually I just couldn't take it anymore, so I cut off communication. And I was really struggling with not having my dad in my life. That's a big part, and we had such a great relationship when I was younger, so it was really hard for me. And I was involved in my parish. I was a peer minister, still am, and I hadn't really taken the time to reflect on what was happening. And so last year, my youth minister came up to me and she was like, so there's this camp called Cove Crest, run by Life Teen, and you're going. I was like, okay. So I got dragged down to Georgia. Well, not against my will or anything, but so while we were there, we were given the opportunity to go to reconciliation, and I hadn't been in 4 years. And so I was I'm sure some of you guys are thinking the same thing. Why do I need to tell a priest my sins in order to be forgiven? Why can't I just talk to God? And while we were there, the keynote speaker made a really good point, and he was talking about how when Adam and Eve were in the garden and they sewed together the ivy leaves for their clothing, that the leaves, or the fig leaves, excuse me, the fig leaves are actually a natural irritant to your skin. And so when you give your sins to God, you're just taking away the leaves, but not the irritation. And confession and that absolution is taking away all of the irritation that the leaves leave behind. And I never heard it said like that before, and I had my mind set on not going when we were there. And then just hearing it put like that, I decided I definitely had to give it a shot. So there was 8 stations of priests, and to see all these kids lined up to go to confession was really powerful. And I remember sitting, and I was so nervous, and I was freaking out. And I went and sat down with the priest, and it kind of turned into a little bit of a counseling session. And afterward, I just remember feeling a weight was lifted off my shoulders, and the joy that came out after going and getting all that off my chest, it overwhelmed any feelings of nervousness or scared feelings that I was having beforehand. And he told me to go into adoration, which was being held in a chapel, and just to ask God to be my Father. And knowing that my relationship with my physical father is maybe broken indefinitely, and hopefully it'll get better, but my relationship with my real father, my creator, was something that can't be broken. And I really carried that with me through this whole journey, and I still haven't talked to my dad in 8 months, and I'm hoping that relationship can get repaired someday. But for now, I'm just going along with it. And confession was a fresh start for me. And it showed me that I didn't have to be perfect in God's eyes. In fact, showing him all my imperfections brought me closer to him.